Today, work continues on the rear subframe. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mace. Today, we're going to crack on with the rear subframe. We've got I've got to cut the beams we put in out last week, not last week, the week before. So we'll get cracking with that now, and I'll come back to you in a bit. As you can see, I tried taking it out the right way, but it just wasn't having any of it, so I just decided to get it out of the way quickly and cut it out of the way. I've got to cut a big chunk out of the floor, so I don't really see a problem with it. I'll clean it all up before I carry on. So we'll crack on the other side now. Oh no, I made it bigger. So what we're going to do now is, as you've just seen, I've just cut the rest of the floor out. There's a bit at the back here to do, but we won't do that yet. And I know where I want to put the beam there, so I'm alright. So I'm going to go and clean the front beam up that we're bolting the subframe to. And then we'll bolt that back in, which will give me something to build off as well. So we'll build off and we'll build a support for the rest of the floor. And it gives me something to build off when I've got build strut towers and obviously when I'm rebuilding the floor. So we'll go to where it is and we'll clean it up because it's absolutely minging, and we'll leave the big hole to simmer for a little bit. So, what we've just done is we've cleaned that front arm up, basically where we're bolting everything to, was the old suspension arm. So we've cleaned it up, we've made some brackets. I made them last time on part 1 of this video. We've temporarily tacked them in place just so they can't wobble left and right, and we've put some plates underneath that we can rest it on. We're just throwing it back in the car. So what we're going to do now is we're going to lift it in so it can sit on that, and then lift the back up so that's at the right sort of height we need it, and then we'll move from there. So what we've done before we've thrown it in is put the other hub on, so when we're actually measuring it and getting it in its right position, we're not going off just a random measurement. We actually measure off the end of the hub. So we're just trying to sort out the top ball joints. When I bought the subframes, it didn't actually have the bolt with it, so we're just trying to find something we can put on. I'm changing them anyway, so I'm just gonna crack on with that, find something we can put on top of it just to hold them in place, so we can put it in, line her up, and we'll put a brace in at the back as well, so we can actually make something to attach the rear mounts off. So they're secure, so it's on set of rubber mounts on the back, but it'll be solid mounted on the front. Shouldn't think that's a major thing, but it'll be on coilovers anyway, so catch you right back. So, as you can see, we've currently got the subframe into a position where we're roughly guessing it's right. We're just trying to rig up so we can actually take measurements on it on its uppermost travel. As it's going to be a pickup, I don't mind a slight bit of rake on the back. I think it'll look quite smart with a bit of rake on the back. So we're just trying to mock it up and bolt it down at a level where we're happy with it, so we can lift the hub and that up to see what the most travel is. So we can see if we need to drop it or lift it or whatever we need to do with it. It's probably going to take a while, because it's like everyone keeps telling me, it's not the way it's done. But as I keep telling everyone, I like making things hard for myself, and this is clearly what I'm doing. So we'll throw you back over there now. We're just basically clamping 2 pieces of metal over the top of it, so we can actually put some pressure on it and lift it up to see what the maximum travel is on this new suspension. So I'll be right back. So, after a lot of head scratching and multiple doodles all over the side of my car, we've come to the conclusion of we're quite happy where the ride height is, and I'm quite happy where the ride height is.
We don't know what the ride height is going to be without all the rest of the suspension components.
Yeah, there is that. We don't actually know, but we're quite happy where the subframe's going to sit. It might just be the fact that once it's all together, we might have to lift it and cut it out and put it into the right place. But for now, we're happy with that. Well, I'm happy with that. He might not be, but I am. I wish I could leave it like it is, because it currently looks badass. But we'll now figure out how we're going to mount it and get it all tacked up and welded in. So we'll come back to you when we're ready. So after still a bit more head scratching, we've finally come up with a way we can make sure it's the same length both sides. So that's what I'm going to throw together now. Whilst my stepdad takes the anti-roll bar bracket off the other side. We've actually managed to get it pretty much the same distance either side, so we're just making a bracket so when we actually tack it in place it stays there, tack it, and we can move on to the other side. So let's get cracking with that. So, we've made a little jig to keep it so we know both sides are the same. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to get all the measurements right and put it into its place, make sure it's central and all the stuff we know we need to do so it doesn't crab down the road and put me around a tree. So that's the front arms tacked in place for now. We'll be dropping off and we'll be smarting it up a bit. It's just to get it so we know where we're going. I have no doubt in a minute I'm going to have to cut more out of my car, but we'll see how it goes. So now we'll crack on to actually mounting it on the back mounts. I'm just going to use a piece of box and make some little plates off it. Use some flat stock and then we'll strengthen them once it's in. So. So, I was super happy, we had it tacked in, we come to measuring it and one side's 16mm, there's 16mm difference between one side and the other. So we need to shimmy it over one side 8mm to basically even it out. It's gonna...
We don't know why.
Yeah, we've got no idea why. We knew it was going to happen.
Well, that's why we're checking everything 3 or 4 times.
Yep, exactly. 3 or 4 times and we still got it wrong.
There must be an offset in the subframe somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going with that as well, though, because obviously this is the rear subframe of an MGF. So maybe there's an offset like for a gearbox or a mount or something. I don't know. Don't know the ins and outs. But it happens, and it's the whole nature of building a custom car, and we're in the thick of it now, so we can't leave it, and we're not going anywhere, so we're going to throw some plumb lines on it so they can sit whilst I cut it off. And before we cut it off, we'll make sure that we are 100% sure it's 16mm. So basically 8mm because you half it. So it's going to move 8mm to the one side, which should give us a better centre on the wheels, because currently if I put a set of wheels on it, the passenger side is going to kill someone, where the driver's side is going to eat the car. So, we'll be back in a minute. So, off camera, we realised why we couldn't get it all nice and level and straight and true. Because I didn't put the spaces in There's a set of spacers on the top arm. I completely forgot about them. Didn't think they were that important, and then obviously as we've lined the one at the side up, that's nice and square, but the other side won't line up. Just like that, yeah. So we've just spent the last half an hour to an hour trying to figure out, well, we can't get it to all go square, and it's my fault again. Sounds about right. Right, let's get back to it. So after a bit more jiggery pokery, it's finally sitting where I want it to. It's sitting a little bit low. Is it low or high?
Sitting, it'll make the back of the car sit a bit high.
Yeah. So after a bit of more playing with it, we finally got it to a position where I'm quite comfortable with it, and I like it. It's going to make the back of the car sit higher than obviously its standard sort of road height. It's meant to be, well, it is going to be a pickup, so a slight bit of rake on the back might make it look pretty badass. Actually, I'll say it, make it look pretty badass. So I'm gonna leave it at that for today. I will be back during the week to do some more on this subframe. So I didn't get as much as I was hoping to get, but it was mainly my fault because I didn't put the shim plates in.
He's got a list for next week to do before next weekend.
Yeah. So just to make sure I do remember, my stepdad wrote down everything I need to do. So I'll be back in a week. We might have a mid-week video. We'll have to see. But apart from that, I'm dead happy with what we've done today. It's in probably better than I would have done it myself. It probably would have been upside down and backwards now, my luck. But we're in. It's starting to look like a car. Coilovers are here. They're at home, so I'm dead happy with them. Ordering and got the arms coming as well, so hopefully by next weekend they should all be here and we can crack on. We're finishing this rear, putting coilovers all around it, and I will have a Metro sitting on coilovers on the wrong subframes after being told. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the measurements and cutting and grinding and more measurements because my head's fried. So thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, drop a comment and feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much and see you next time.